Only shafts. Have you been shafted?
Of all people that you, it's good that you can invite humor in some of these things. It shows healing, I think, to an extent.
You know, yesterday was the day we were abducted in Tanzania, a year ago.
Yeah, 19th of May.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hey.
Shows healing, man.
A day at a time.
Yeah, a day at a time. You'll get there. Or rather get closer there, right?
True. Yeah.
And then here we are met with a situation that we knew from Friday that the country was going to be at a standstill. And these guys were not bluffing when they said we're going to shut it down because on the 15th, we knew that the prices were astronomical.
Yes.
And it was going to be crazy. And they said, we can't do this. Number one, we can't buy it at that price. Number two, the people that we ferry every day can't afford it because we're going to have to pass the cost to them. Mm-hmm. And we know that our vehicles are going to be empty. We're not going to be able to ferry anybody because people will not be able to afford it. And true to form, it happened on Monday and the country was shut down.
Yeah.
So beyond the cost of fuel, there seems to have been another cost. But how do we connect all of this and say, okay, well, whose fault is it? How can anybody? It's fuel prices are high. And that's the thing, Bonnie, that fuel prices are high.
Yeah.
The situation to get oil or to get fuel to countries is difficult. Can anybody be blamed? And we say at whose cost, at what cost?
So you blame the president. You can't be told there's going to be like a national strike. And by the public transport vehicles, like the Matatus are going to go on strike. Mm-hmm. And then you leave the country. That's not what you do. Because the backbone of this country is Matatus. The government does not own public transport system. So you're relying on private people to transport people to work, transport goods, transport tourists, and it's the backbone of this nation. Then instead of you addressing that issue, leave the country. And then on Monday when there's a strike and people are protesting about the fuel price, you send your police to shoot people. Then that evening you do dog whistling. You say, why are you complaining? Why didn't you complain when Uhuru was president? So you're shifting the blame from you running the country and being responsible for what's happening to other people. So basically the entire government failed on that particular day. Yeah. And it also shows that as a country, we can't rely on Matatus alone. Mm-hmm. The government needs to build light rails because if the government had a light rail system, at least half of the country would have worked. At least there could have been some form of transportation for people. Yeah. But on Monday and Tuesday, the country came to a standstill because private vehicles, because Matatus are private vehicles.
Yes, they are.
They were parked at home. Yeah. And I remember, what's unfortunate actually, I remember when I was a young person, Kenya Bus Service, the government had a stake on that. Mm-hmm. So the government could actually have said, let's transport people with our vehicles. But the government has no vehicles anymore. There's even Nyayo Bus Service. Yeah. And so basically we failed because letting the entire country depend on private vehicles is letting ourselves down, and we're going to be held hostage again and again. However, the Matatus had every right to strike. The fuel lands at maybe 100 shillings. The rest are levies. There are 7 levies and 2 taxes on every liter of fuel. It does not make sense. So the government is using this money because it's every day. Every day they're collecting billions from fuel levy because they think Kenya consumes about 500 million liters a day. So they're collecting fuel levies every day and they feel they can't live without that.
Yeah.
You know, Bonnie, the strike that happened in the country for those 2 days for me is